on there, right?
I'll take last question, Shabir. Sir, last question.
She's the boss. She's the boss.
Last question, Shabir. We are done. Okay.
यार मैं क्या करूँ अब?
Thank you so much for doing this briefing today, and I'm sorry for the whole catastrophe situation in Pakistan. This is Mariam Ramadi from Afghanistan International. I have two questions for you. One is on Afghanistan, of course, as an Afghan woman and Afghan journalist, and one is on Iran. I'm going to start with Afghanistan. 1 year ago, when the Taliban took over Afghanistan, the Pakistan government was telling the international community to don't push Taliban, be patient with Taliban, and give them a little bit of time. 1 year has passed. The Taliban are behaving worse than they were before. Human rights, women's rights, and not to mention the situation at the border. They had many conflicts with Pakistani officials at the border. People have been killed there. What is the position of Pakistan on the Taliban and their behavior in the region and inside the Afghanistan right now? Has the position changed? Can you tell me about that?
So I think that all of us, everyone in the region, in the neighborhood, but also the international community, wants to see a peaceful, stable, prosperous Afghanistan, where all citizens, regardless of gender, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of their various religious beliefs, enjoy the fundamental rights that all citizens across the world should enjoy. And as far as their quest, the interim government's quest to have their government recognized internationally, I believe it would be helpful for them in achieving this goal if they were to live up to their commitments, and not only with the people of Afghanistan, the international community, but all of us in the region. Amongst those commitments are indeed the commitments on women's rights and women's education, the use of their soil, or sort of not to allow the use of their soil for terrorists or cross-border terrorist activity, and some sort of inclusive setup. While it has been a year, and I hear you that there is a lot of impatience about the progress being made so far, I'm still hopeful and will continue to engage in order to encourage that we do achieve those aims, because I believe it is not only in my interest, it's in the people of Afghanistan's interest that we do get there. I just want to go back to the issue of women's rights within Afghanistan. I understand that it has been a year, but along with the rights issue, we've also seen a deterioration of the humanitarian situation in Afghanistan and the economic situation in Afghanistan. We dread an economic collapse in Afghanistan. And my fear is that if the international community does not mobilize, does not live up to what the UN Secretary General has been saying about their commitments vis-a-vis the economy in Afghanistan, and we do see a complete and utter collapse of their economy, then like theocratic, autocratic regimes in the past, rather than an extension of rights for their citizens, we'll see a contraction of rights for their citizens. And that is why Pakistan and other countries continue to advocate not only for engagement, but also for a joint effort to ensure, in the greatest interest of the Afghan people, that we address the economically fragile situation in Afghanistan.
Thank you so much for that. I'm going to ask my second question, if you want.
We are short of
about
time.
Iran, I'm so sorry. This is an important issue. I'm sure Mahsa Amini's name rang a bell for you. A girl who was killed by morality police in the Islamic Republic of Iran. People are in the streets protesting. Women are leading these protests. What is your message to the government of Iran, who is suppressing these peaceful protests, and to women of Iran as an Islamic country, Pakistan, and the neighboring country to Iran? Thank you so much.
I think that the people of Iran have a long history of protests and democratic struggle. As far as this incredibly tragic incident that you're referring to, I did note that the Afghan, I believe it was the foreign minister, had announced that there would be an investigation into this incident, and I believe that we're looking forward to see the results of that. Thank you.
افتخار.
Mr. Foreign Minister, thank you for doing this briefing. And by the way, congratulations on your birthday.
Thank you.
So belated.
Thank you.
My question is to seek a clarification. You spoke about the upgrading of the UN flash appeal. And at the same time, there were reports that there will be a bonus conference. So, which is...
So there's the upgrading of the UN flash appeal is necessary, given the drastic sort of increase in needs. The donors conference can only take place once you have a comprehensive damage needs assessment necessary and a complete dossier about all the necessary actions that need to be taken. The damage needs assessment cannot be accurately completed until the flood waters truly recede. And if you were to visit areas of Dadu around Manshur Lake or other areas of the province of Sindh, there's still incredible amounts of flooding and damage. So as this water recedes, you will get a comprehensive damage needs assessment done, and we will be in a place to hold a donors conference hopefully before the end of the year. A revision in the UN flash appeal was expected when we initially set out with the appeal, but we thought it was all the more important to go ahead when we were launching the initial appeal because of the desperation of the situation. Before the end of the year. The President Macron of France has very generously offered to host a conference for the flood affectees, and the UN Secretary General is also offered to co-host. So we're working on that, and I'll have more details for you going forward.
Yes, please.
Hi, Mr. Foreign Minister. Michael Mathis with Agence France Presse, AFP. You spoke a little bit earlier about the international economic order and differences between the developing nations and richer countries. Given the dire humanitarian crisis in Pakistan right now and the economic difficulties, what would you like to see in terms of any debt cancellation for Pakistan, and is there a mechanism for that? And also, if I can ask, on climate change, does Pakistan want to see climate reparations by wealthy countries?
Okay.
Thanks.